Hey everyone, it's Tim from Linessa Farms Specialty and Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today. As always, you can contact us on our website at www.linessafarms.com. That's LINESSAFARMS.com. You can send us an email at customerservice@linessafarms.com, or you can always give us a call or shoot us a text at 219-869-7524. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, and also don't forget to follow us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at Linessa Farms LLC. So I've been getting a lot of questions recently about sheep breeds. What is the best sheep breed? And that is a very interesting question. We're going to do a couple segments on that coming up. We're going to talk about what sheep breeds are the best. And we're also going to talk about sheep breeds in general. And what it means when you buy a specific breed and what it may not mean when you buy a specific breed. So this is kind of a lead-in video, getting the ball rolling, talking about what sheep breed is the best. So it's kind of a trick question, and the correct answer is, I don't want to disappoint anybody here, but the correct answer is it depends on you. It depends on what you want to do with your livestock. It depends on what you want to do with your animals. So it's very important for you to have a good handle on what it is that you expect to get out of your animals. If you are going to be selling your animals for meat, if you're going to be selling your animals for show. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to look at your setup. Do you plan on having your animals on dry lot where they're going to be eating hay every day? Or do you plan on having your animals on pasture? That's probably one of the most important factors that you need to consider. The second thing is worm resistance. Again, that's going to depend on if you're dry lighting your animals or if you're having your animals on pasture. If you're going to have them on pasture, you're going to want more worm resistance. It's going to be more important than it is if you're going to be dry lighting them. As far as what your purpose of selling them is for, if you want them for wool production, obviously you're going to be looking at a completely different breed than if you're looking at meat production. Generally speaking, black-faced breeds tend to be more of a terminal breed. That is to say that black-faced breeds are the breeds that you would consider if you want to get an animal, you want to feed it out, and you want to get it as big as possible, as fast as possible to sell it for meat. White-faced breeds tend to be a little bit more of a dual-purpose breed of wool mixed with meat. So that's something important to consider as well. But the main thing is you need to look and do your research and ask yourself the tough questions of, what am I going to be using these animals for? How am I going to be feeding them? What is their pasture and feed scenario going to look like? And take it from there. What we're going to be talking about as we move forward into our next segments is about breeds specifically. Not all breeds are created equal. And what you're going to find is, let's use Polled Dorset for example. If I decided that I wanted to get into Polled Dorsets because I looked at the breed and I studied up on the breed and they're supposed to be really good for X, Y, and Z reasons, what you may find is people that raise Polled Dorset for show, they might not be real Polled Dorset. They may be Polled Dorset crossed with Columbia, South Down, or something completely different because they're looking for a very specific carcass size. And that's when we're going to start getting in the deep weeds of cheating, crossbreeds, people being unscrupulous about what they're selling. Those are the topics that are going to be coming up in the next few video segments, and it's probably going to be a little controversial, but I encourage you to read into that because it's very important. A lot of producers, a lot of people that are getting into raising sheep say, hey, I want to raise, again, we'll just use Dorset as an example. I want to raise Dorset because they're good for X, Y, and Z reasons, and then they get a Dorset from a Dorset breeder, and then they find out that, hey, this thing isn't doing what they said it was going to do. And the reason for that in a lot of cases is because it's probably a crossbred made up of many other things. I have some friends that really wanted to get pasture hardy animals, and so they got a specific breed for that was supposed to be really good, and then it all just went to hell in a handbasket. And the reason for that is because they really didn't get what they thought they were paying for. So again, we'll talk about that later. The other thing that I want you to think about, and we'll talk a little bit more in this in future segments, is hair sheep. When I was a kid, the United States government subsidized wool. We were getting almost $1 a pound at sometimes for wool. Now there is no money in wool whatsoever. So if you're raising animals just for meat, if you're raising animals to where the wool is going to be more of a hindrance than it's going to be a good, you may seriously want to consider some of the hair sheep breeds. You may want to look at Katahdin, you may want to look at Dorper. It just depends on what you want to do. So, name of the game, long story short, be honest with yourself. Look at what you're going to be using the animals for. Look at what you expect to get out of the animals, and then settle on a breed from there. All right, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you one more time, and I also hope that you will consider following us. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Check out some of the other videos that we're going to have coming up in this segment, talking about sheep breeds and sheep breeding. We're going to get into genetics as well. I think it's going to be pretty exciting, and I think it's going to answer a lot of questions. So that's it. Have a great day, and thanks for following us.